We now have Dominica, and we're going to have Andrew O'Brien and Jamie Allain speak. And I got to speak on you first. You got such a great bio. I got to give you. Don't worry. I'll get you. I got to introduce you. Jamie Allain and her team have a combined 15 years of experience in citizenship by investment, residency, real estate, offshore formations, and tourism in the Eastern Caribbean. She's well known for her love of the islands, excellent connections, and a knack for making things happen. So with 15 years experience, fantastic to have Jamie here. And we also have Andrew Cobra O'Brien from Cobra Tours, originally from the village of Taru on the island of the Commonwealth of Dominica in the West Indies. He has over 25 years invested in the tourism industry and has served as president of the Tour Guides Association from 1996 to 2006. So without further ado, Dominica Cobra Tours, Jamie Allen.
A very good morning to all of you. Thank you for having us here from Cobra Tours. Shortly after his second return to the Caribbean, to the West Indies, when Christopher Columbus arrived back in Spain, he was invited to the royal court and had to present to Queen Isabella, who asked, "What is Dominica like?" A country he had just discovered on his second trip, named after Sundays on the day on which it was discovered. Legend has it that he took a piece of early paper, he crumpled it up, and he threw it on the table. And he said, "This is Dominica, for its mountainous peaks." He didn't have another way of describing it. So my job here today is to do what Christopher Columbus did for Queen Isabella, to introduce you to my lovely little wild island of Dominica.
The name we gave to this island when we arrived over 1,000 years ago. And we're still here. This is Dominica, the nature island of the Caribbean. Today we are a vibrant nation of friendly people, rich culture. Here, community is at the center of life. We are Caribbean people who still smile to welcome a visitor. Here, exchange is not about money, but a gift to a neighbor. And time is measured by the joys of life. You have stepped through a door into a world of adventure. Our annual World Real Music Festival, Carnival. Our unique nation has become a popular port of call while remaining true to our heritage. In the heart of Rosewood, a visitor will find a historical district of 18th century French architecture, duty-free shops, restaurants, charming hotels and cafes. In Dominica, you will experience the way the world was meant to be. Until now, you never thought of green as a color that could dazzle. Take a deep breath. Let the liquid sunshine wash over you like 1,000 blessings. Each gentle rainforest trail contains great secrets. The second largest boiling lake in the world lies in the heart of Montopito National Park, a sanctuary of natural wonders found nowhere else on Earth. Declared for its unique biodiversity, our national park is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Dominica's most spectacular marine reserve is in the south, the Sucre-Scottsdale Marine Reserve, a submerged volcanic crater teeming with life. For explorers, some of the most dramatic diving in the Caribbean. Dive into a volcano. Dominica's mountains continue underwater, another 200 meters offering spectacular wall dives. Our rich marine environment has made Dominica a leading dolphin and whale watching destination. Our charming inns are mostly family run. Here the focus is on providing a very personal, individual experience with facilities designed to respect the natural environment. As if by design, at the end of each day, natural hot springs await, an invitation to unwind. Dominica is a world where the last indigenous people of the Caribbean islands still live. The name Caribbean comes from the Carib people, as does the name of our island, Waitikuwuli. Tall is her body. Dominica, the nature island of the Caribbean, an English-speaking island in the eastern Caribbean between the French islands of Guadeloupe and Martinique.
So Dominica, the nature island. Thank you. Now, Christopher Columbus and the Kalinago Indians had the same idea, named Waitukubuli. Tall is her body. This is what strikes you most about our beautiful little island, Dominica. Not to be confused with the Dominican Republic, but I'm told that captains never make this mistake. Size 29 miles long, 16 miles wide, and located 15.42 degrees north, 61.37 degrees west, north of Martinique and south of Guadeloupe, the French islands of the Eastern Caribbean. We have a very small population, actually smaller than my university, where I went to in the United States. I was fascinated to learn. Our currency, the Eastern Caribbean dollar, which is tied to the US dollar, it's a very stable currency because of that. Language is English, and we speak French Creole because of having changed hands between the French and the English for so many years. Just going to give you a brief history of Dominica. Now, this island I love so much, and we're given 15 minutes, so we're going to try to keep it concise. You have time after to give us some questions. Okay, so it was discovered a long time ago, 5000 BC, when the Kalinago Indians were roaming the Caribbean region, not known as the Caribbean region at that time, of course, until 1493 when Columbus happened upon it, and introducing us to the rest of the world, and then, of course, history continued. The Kalinago Indians, the presence of the Kalinago Indians on Dominica, I'm part Kalinago, my mother's family is from the Kalinago territory or area. The Kalinago have such a strong presence and personality on the island still, and I think that's one of the most interesting things about Dominica, and unique things, because for over 200 years, even if the French or the British claimed to have colonized Dominica, in fact they hadn't, because the Kalinago kept them at bay. So they were only French, we were only English or French on paper only, but not in reality, because of the Kalinago. And of course, the Kalinago territory is still there today. It's protected culture, so that we can still visit and see. And many of the Dominican people are part Kalinago, in fact. Dominica is a yachting destination. Now, having spoken with a lot of brokers and so on, we understand that Dominica might be a bit of a challenge sometimes to sell because captains might be a little bit intimidated by it. And this is why we're here today, to really introduce Dominica as a yachting destination and to get your clients and your captains to be familiar with us as a yachting destination and to understand that, just to understand how we work. Basically, there are two ports of entry, so the north and the south. We have no marina, but we have a 1 mile wide safe harbor in the north, Portsmouth, where you have 10 to 30 feet depth for safe anchorage in that area. And Cobra Tours and Yacht Services, the premier yacht service provider on island, and actually the go-to authority for yachting in Dominica. The authorities rely on Cobra Tours, in fact, to provide information about the yachting industry and to give recommendations. And so Cobra here and the Cobra Tours team, they provide all the services that any marina would provide. And this is island-wide, with the main office being located in the north at the beautiful Prince Rupert's Bay in Portsmouth, but also in Roseau at the capital city, south. It's important to note that in Scott's Head, there was a shot of the diving done in Scott's Head. This is a protected area, beautiful for diving, but we're not allowed to anchor there. You can anchor just north of that in Roseau. So Portsmouth, Prince Rupert's Bay, safe natural harbor, anchorage all along the bay and moorings available. In Roseau, there are also moorings available south of the cruise ship dock. Cobra Tours and Yacht Services. Now, I decided to join this agency and to join this team really because I love the passion of Cobra and his team. They embody what Dominica is about. They love their country, they love our country, and they give you the real experience when you arrive on Dominica. They make everything happen from customs and immigration clearances, anything that you will need. They are small, but do not underestimate them because they are mighty. They will allow anything to happen. They will make anything happen, whatever is necessary, and they're known for doing that. So I'm going to just allow you to explore Dominica a little bit with us by picture. But I'm sure we'll all be able to invite you to Dominica soon, right? And your boats. Dominica's highest mountain, Mont Diablo Te, 4,747 feet, home to the world's second largest boiling lake. Now, there's a little argument about that because the other boiling lake is in New Zealand, and they're constantly remeasuring who has so some years we have the first, some years we have the second, but it's a natural phenomenon to see and to behold, in fact. Mont Wapito National Park. This was the first heritage site declared in the Eastern Caribbean because of the water catchment that it holds. It's such a wide span. It's the largest water catchment with lots of sites only within that area, many waterfalls to see. And the Waitukubuli National Trail, which I personally love. This is a trail spanning from the north to the south of the island. It's absolutely phenomenal and a hiker's dream, a nature lover's dream. Now, the entire trail can be done in 7 days, but the trail is also broken down into segments that can be done within a few hours. So you get to see your favorite parts, if you only have a day to explore or 2 days to explore. Such a beautiful trail. I really love this. And it allows for ecotourism, which is something that Dominica is trying to promote right now. We're trying to stay true to our culture. We don't want to go the way of the other islands. Not that there's anything wrong, but we want to stay and behold what is special about us. They also say that if Christopher Columbus were to return to Dominica today, or to the Caribbean today, this would be the only island he would still recognize. And we want to keep it that way. It's considered one of the top 10 dive destinations in the world. And actually has become a very popular movie set. So it has become a location. Because of its wild nature, actually Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and 3 were both filmed there, and a number of other films. We have a very rich culture. Our people are known for their friendly smiles and their love of life. Carnival, one of my favorite, with the street jump up. So depending on what time of year you decide to visit, the Carnival, the Jazz and Creole, which is another favorite of ours, also held in the north at the Prince Rupert's Bay. You will see in the background the Fort Shirley, which is the old British fort, which looked over the Prince Rupert's Bay. We have the Dive Fest in July. I being a female winner of that race once. World Creole Music Festival coming up in just a few weeks, and we're all looking forward to this. A huge festival with Creole music because we celebrate our Creole culture, which is really the mainstay of our island. Now, Cobra Tours. Back to Cobra Tours and Yacht Services. What do you really do with a coconut? This is the sort of experience that you get with Cobra Tours. I mean, you get the true Dominican experience. You see him here, right there, the same gentleman standing to my right, breaking open a coconut for his guests. This is going up the Indian River, named because it used to be well, the whole of Prince Rupert's Bay was a mainstay for the Kalinagos in the beginning, and this is why they were able to keep off the French and the English for so long. It was a protected area, the protected bay, and the Indian River is one of our most popular sites. As you see him rowing up the river right there. And the Indian River Bush Bar, which is well known. We have some of that rum punch available there for later if you'd like to have a taste. A little bit of the Indian River experience. Fort Shirley Cabritz National Park, a very well-maintained park. You can still see the history, you can feel the history just being there. And it's right at Prince Rupert's Bay. So it's right there for the yachts the guests to experience. And of course, we have many rivers and pools, such as the Chaudet pool right here. It's a natural water park, you know, you don't need any of the extravagance, it's just a natural water park. This is how the world was made, really intended to be. And Dominica doesn't have the white sand beaches of the northern islands. We have black sand beaches, and the health properties of the magnetic black sand beaches are only now being researched. And there's so many benefits to this sort of what we have naturally occurring in Dominica. Our whole island is like a therapeutic spa with the sulfur springs. I mean, it's just a rejuvenation point, really, you know, and I'm very, very proud of our island. So here we have, on one side, we have the black sand beaches, but we also have this beautiful pink coral sand beaches as well on the east. You'll see the red rocks. Cobra says it's like taking a trip to Mars. Beautiful. The Kalinago territory, showing off some of the crafts and their culture that's still in practice today, the basket weaving, for example. And our waterfalls. This is the Emerald Pool, so named because of the actual emerald-looking pool. Dominica has every shade of green imaginable. You look at it and you think you're looking at a million colors, but you're looking at green in every shade imaginable. These are some of our sulfur spas, natural sulfur spas, good for the skin, keeps it looking healthy. Diving, fishing, whale watching, as mentioned before, in one of the top 10 diving destinations in the world. Our underwater flora and fauna. I mean, Dominica, in one little wild island, really has it all. And we welcome you, we invite you all to come to Dominica. We invite you to promote Dominica amongst your guests, with your guests. And if you don't know, if you're unsure about how to access Dominica, please feel free to contact Cobra Tours and Yacht Services. Anytime, we're welcome. We're happy to give you as much information as possible. Our information. Thank you so much for having us.